guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about something honestly quite irritating and something that I think we've all come across at some point, so we're just going to rage for a second. There's this Instagram couple and they want you to pay for their travels. Now, this is a pretty common scenario. We've seen scandals of people asking for free hotel stays. We've seen people demand free products. We've seen people scam their followers with GoFundMe campaigns that are supposedly for, you know, some dying child or some great cause, but then in reality, they're just lying and they're gonna put everything in their pocket. So that's the kind of story we're in for, and if you can't tell, I'm slightly fired up because this type of bullshit, the entitlement, the absolute fucking entitlement. Here we go. Insta couple who says getting a job isn't an option wants you to fund their travels. You want me to fund your travels? My quick answer is fuck no. A husband and wife have been criticized after asking people to fund their £9,000 trip to Africa. Catalin Onk, who is in his mid-20s, currently lives with his wife, Elena Engelhart, at his mom's house and wants to take part in the trip to raise awareness about mental health. So this just in, if you want to raise awareness about mental health, you can't just make a post from home. Like, I can't just take a picture now and write a long ass caption about mental health. That is illegal and completely impossible. If I want to make you aware about mental health, I have to go to Africa. There's no other way. Sorry. His mom currently has 2 jobs to support them. You're in your mid-20s and you're making your mom have 2 jobs so she can support your lazy ass? No, not today. It came as a bit of a sting for some people when they got the begging bowl out saying they needed cash for their tandem bike ride from Germany to Africa. They set up a GoFundMe telling people that getting a job was not an option because there are few trades that they're qualified for. Whose fault is that? Go to school. Learn something. Get a job. A lot of people fucking do it. A lot of jobs also train you to know how to do whatever the job entails, so it's not being trained isn't the end of the world. There are ways you can get around that if you try, but I feel like that's not happening here. The couple said, "Some will just tell us to get jobs like everyone else and stop begging. But when you have the impact we do on others' life, getting a job is not an option. We could model and make fast money, but we don't want to advertise consumerism. A normal job at this point would be detrimental."
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
So you think advertising consumerism is worse than taking advantage of your mom and having her have 2 jobs, and so you don't want to be a model because you could make fast money like that, but that would be bad, so instead you're just not going to have a job at all. Makes sense. Very logical. One person responded on Instagram saying, "Your mom works 2 jobs to pay for your trip. Don't you think that's impacting her mental health? It's sad this isn't all a joke. The self-importance you have is ridiculous." Another added, "Or like, you know, get a job and pay for your little cycling trip yourself." So far, they have raised 180 pounds of their target. Catalin added, "At this very moment, my mother is funding us. She works 2 jobs and is not much herself. We didn't ask her for money, but she loves that she's able to help. Mom, I want you to know that this is not only for us, but hundreds of others that benefit from your help." Following criticism for their begging Instagram post, the couple responded saying, "This is how I feel when people make money on the biggest topic. Having tattoos, a pretty girlfriend, and followers on Instagram opens doors for us. It's true." Okay, so I think these two have drifted far enough from reality where someone has to just like tug at their feet and bring them down to the ground where everyone else lives. From this article so far, you probably will think that they are really big on Instagram, right? Wrong. As of when I'm editing this, they have 43,000 followers, which yes, is quite a following, but at the same time, most of the people who get free trips or receive PR have in the 100,000s. So the fact that they feel so self-important as to say that their work changes so many lives, hello, you're posting pictures on Instagram with potentially meaningful captions, that's it. Like, you're not doing volunteer work, you're not helping children, you're not doing anything that's that life-changing. They're acting like they're gonna revolutionize things, when in reality, they just go places and take pictures. And there's nothing wrong with that, but don't try and make it into something it's not. We could live a lavish lifestyle and only show that, like most people on social media do. We choose not to. We have seen how people are around us when we have money and when we don't. Hashtag grateful that we get to see both sides of the spectrum. I wish you could all experience this. Some people are quick to judge and speak. At this very moment, we don't have much. We're accepting money from my mother and also donations, but we don't hide that. The situation is teaching us a lot. Speaking about the motives for the bike ride, one man asked, I like you both a lot and have been following your posts for a while now, but I don't really get how this helps people with mental health issues like myself. This just seems like an adventure and a fun trip for you both, and it has no significant reason to help anyone else in any way. Agreed. What the fuck is your trip gonna do? Genuinely, what is your trip going to do? And if you want to go on vacation, there is nothing wrong with saying you want to go on vacation. Like if you were asking for donations to go on vacation, you'd still get hate, but at least you're being 100, and people, at least I would respect that more, because I'd be like, okay, at least they're not lying. But to say that this trip is a mental health awareness thing is crap, because you don't need to change country or even leave your own room to talk about mental health and raise awareness. Now, one other thing that I find very interesting is that they said they don't live a lavish lifestyle. We all have different definitions for what constitutes being lavish. However, I was just snooping around their Instagram, being a nosy ass bitch, and I came across a couple of pictures that don't really scream modesty. And look, I love lavish pictures. I love following people who go on lavish vacations. I like that shit. But at the same time, if you're doing it, just own it. It's the same as being a thought on Instagram. If you want to show your ass, own it. It's fine. Do whatever you want, but don't act like you're doing something that you're not, because then you just look stupid. So look at this picture and look at this picture. Do these pictures not scream lavish, guru-esque type shit to you? Also, side note, but a big part of being an influencer is showing what your life is like as an influencer. Now, of course, there are influencers who are very down to earth and don't post anything of lavish, but when I look at their pictures, it seems like they're always traveling or doing something. And so I'm just kind of wondering, you're trying to get money because you're an influencer and you claim to have all this influence, yet you also say that you live a completely regular lifestyle, which is kind of the opposite of being an influencer. So I'm just kind of confused as to which card are you gonna pull? Like the I'm just a regular person, or I'm an influencer, give me money. You know, I'm just confused about that. Also, none of this video is made for people to go send hate, because they're already getting a bunch of hate. We don't need to add on to that. I'm just kind of perplexed at all of this. And mind you, freeloaders have always existed. People who want to take advantage of others, people who want to be given money for nothing in return have always existed. It's just that with social media, we see it more and it's underlined a lot more often. But what I think this story really underlines is the entitlement that certain people have just because they have a following or because they're on social media, they suddenly feel like they're owed things. I think this is a big part of why I cringe and most other people cringe when they say and hear the word influencer, because we think of people like this because these are the people who make the news. The influencers who are chill, who are modest, who are on the grind, who are hustling, we don't see much about them because they're not being fucking ridiculous like this online. I have to say, I'm kind of curious to see what happens when they go on this fantastical Africa trip and they cure our depression and they cure our anxiety. Because honestly, I just really want to see, because now if they do go to Africa, if they do raise that money, they're gonna have a lot of pressure to fulfill this mental health awareness thing that they're going for, which I don't know how they're gonna do, because people are gonna be 10 times more critical after this happened. I know I'm gonna be keeping an eye out to see what comes of this. Let's just check out their Instagram. So it's actually pretty funny because I feel like a lot of their captions are a little bit fake deep, which, you know, go off if that's your thing. So there's this picture that says, how many people are on their phone missing the moment, which is a little bit ironic for an influencer to say, in my opinion, because you're making your money off people on their phones and computers, but you know, it's important to be in the moment. I agree, just a little bit of irony. So they have an Instagram post where they post a screenshot of the GoFundMe, and let's just read a little bit of that. We could write a long text about mental health or global warming. We could tell you about following your dreams or how important stepping out of your comfort zone is. We could tell you how beautiful traveling is and its benefits, or the fact that most news don't match reality. But we're going to show you. Less talking, more action. Starting on the 20th of July in the middle of Germany, on tandem, me and Ellie will cycle towards Africa and hopefully beyond. We want to take you all on this huge adventure, a celebration of life as we ride freely across the mountains, by the sea, and through metropolitans. We will show you the beauty of this planet and its inhabitants, but also the ugliness. But we cannot do this on your own. We need you. The funds we raise will go towards the bike and gear, food and accommodation when needed, internet and SIM cards in every country to keep you up to date, insurance, emergencies. We need funds now for preparation as well as throughout our trip. Every dollar, every message, every couch or garden for our tent, any help you can offer us will help us go further. We hope you all enjoy and learn with us. Together we can make a difference. Another beautiful day. With love, Kat and Ellie. So it's interesting because this caption says a lot, but also says nothing at all, in the sense that, yeah, there are a lot of words, but they're not really giving us all that much information. They said that they're gonna take this trip to show that you can follow your dreams and shit, but then it says the money's going towards bikes and different SIM cards and insurance. So I feel like some of these expenses, aside from the entire thing being absolutely ridiculous, some of these expenses are just the cherry on top. And it's funny because this ratio will tell you a lot. This picture has 1,600 likes and 1,000 comments. So you know shit's bad when a lot of people comment and don't like. Needless to say, a lot of these comments are negative, which makes sense because this is stupid. Most people are saying get a job. Most people are asking how this applies to mental health whatsoever. Interestingly enough, there are quite a few replies from either one of them because they share this account, but there was no answer to the famous how does this help mental health. Another thing I've noticed from the post is that the dude seems to travel a lot. Like there was a post talking about him hiking Everest or some shit, and I just don't understand how what they're doing now is different from the other vacations they went on, whether it was in Bali or elsewhere. I genuinely don't know. I think this is entitlement at its finest. This is exactly why people don't want to be called influencers, because nobody wants to be associated with this type of bullshit. It's comical in a really frustrating way where I genuinely, when I first heard of this, I was like, oh, they're raising money because it says like we're gonna change lives and shit, or that's the implication anyway. Oh, they're gonna do volunteer work, which is also expensive because you still have to travel there and if you want to bring things too. So I thought that's what they were doing. So I was so shook when I saw that they're just showing up and that's gonna cure my depression apparently. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think stories like this are the reason why there's such a negative connotation with the term influencer? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's get right into the